Every time we were walking into a room, we didn't know why we were there, which was good, but it made it kind of like, what are we doing now?
Alrighty.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming.
No, thank you for having me.
Awesome. So I will call you as Joseph.
Yeah,
from this
Joseph
moment.
is great. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. So I watched like 흑백요리사 is a huge thing now in Korea. It's
so I've heard.
incredible. I mean, you were there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a be there is already impossible to get in there on the first show.
Yeah.
And then you already been there, and then with the 백수저, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. So I just wanted to walk you through watching this show a little
I've
bit.
actually not. I've stayed away from watching.
Really?
Yeah. I normally don't watch the TV shows. I hate the sound of my voice. I always especially because I'm trying to speak Korean.
Yeah.
I can always hear the mistakes I make, and I'm always very self-conscious. So I try not to watch it, but I'll watch it because we're here.
Okay.
I'll make an exception.
Just wanted to hear from you what happened. It's just scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is scene that you came out.
Yes. Flashbacks. The first scene where I'm speaking to the chefs is we're just going through who's going to pick what, who's going to go with that. And obviously I think there's a lot more famous chefs there, like my good friend Cheon Sok and stuff like that. They're getting it's kind of like in school where you're getting picked and you're waiting to go up. So I was really glad that he chose to fight off with him, and it was really nice. It was cool. It was very late at that stage.
When you got picked, there were only 3 to 4 chefs only
left.
Yeah. So you waited until
I was left out
last
of the
minute.
Wangda. I was the guy at the end, the last one.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was I went there Friday lunchtime with my wife.
Okay, amazing.
So it's amazing food. Thank you so much for all the food.
No. Did you enjoy it?
Definitely.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed it. I also did the Korea liquor pairing.
Yes,
with
nice.
my wife.
The chomtanju,
yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
No, I like that. That even in this scene here, that they, even though I dropped out, they gave every restaurant a really good introduction. Because it's always difficult when you do TV shows. It's like, how are they going to edit it? How are they going to put it together? And I think they did such an amazing job of putting all the restaurants involved and showing the best of that. So they followed up and got all the photos from us, and we did all that. It's very, especially when you lose and then a month later they want to film again and do that. You can kind of feel like, it's. I thought it was over, but then it's nice that when you see the final product and how much effort they put into it. So it's very cool.
Yeah. You didn't know anything about the
No. And the whole show, most of the time we film, if we did Oswa or we do Sixth Sense and all that stuff, you kind of know what's going to happen beforehand. Yes, it's supposed to be a surprise, but you kind of know the rough thing. For this one here, every time we were walking into a room, we didn't know why we were there at all. No one would do, which was good, but it made it kind of like, what are we doing now? And then, you've got to wait for the thing to set up and do all the stuff. And that was insane because you see that many fridges lined up and it's so impressive to see.
Wow.
I've cooked eel a lot of times, not a lot of Korean eel. But we did some dishes at the restaurant. We did timed practices as well because the time is quite short. And I've done a lot of competitions, not TV competitions, but in Australia when I was a young chef, I did a lot of competitions. So timings and all that and working within the space.
So within your practice day, did you just try all the possible scenarios with the dishes?
Yeah, exactly. One day was just trying to figure out do we like the flavors? Do we like the taste? Do we think the dish is nice? And then the second day is just timing. Timing and running through how long is the eel going to cook? What time do I need to start the fire? What time do I need to do this? Because you've got 90 minutes. So if you forget one step along the way, then you're not going to make it in time.
Oh. So did you Did you come up with the? Oh, we can talk about it.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. So the reason I kept on saying that, right, is because it's such a long day.
Yeah.
Like, people forget, and everyone is like, we're professionals, we're there, but you're there for such a long time that this was more just to keep everyone kind of just some energy in the room, and I didn't really know what 백수자 or 흑수자 meant even at the time, so I was just saying it just as a way to kind of fire up our teams. So
Right.
so.
Nice.
So I'm watching. This is the first time I've watched it, so it's just.
So the cameraman was behind there, right?
Yeah, because sometimes they make you do things, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they make you do things, and I was doing that, and then he was like, "Oh, I need to do it again." So then he got behind the camera, and then he did a little bit of action there for him. But it was nice that we could use live fire as well. Normally for studios and stuff like that, it's always just induction cooking. So it was really nice that like you see all the chefs all through, you can actually bring all the stuff that you want, which is really nice as well. But yeah, I like that scene because he was covered in ash. It's like wiping the lens.
Such a professional.
Get the shot. So the reason why I chose this dish, I don't know if I'm going to say it. So at the restaurant we do 14 courses lunch. You probably had 7 on Friday. Through that time, you're trying to tell like a whole story within the whole menu of the thing. And the week before, I did a pop-up in Kyoto with my friend. Really cool restaurant. And we finished and we're having some Chinese food. Like, it's not very common for chefs at the end of the night. We'll go to like a Chinese restaurant or something because it's always open super late. And was talking to one of the young chefs and he's like, "Oh, what's Korean food like? And they just said, "Oh, Korean food's always red. It's always spicy. It's always tteokbokki. It's always that." And I was like, I don't think it is. I think there is such a really good different versions of Korean food. So that's what really that's what I wanted to show in this one there. But I mean, in the course of one bite, if I was to do it again, I would have went something that was powerful, because at the restaurant we have delicate dishes that make you think, and then we have more intense flavors as well throughout of it. So that's why I chose that dish.
Oh, I see. You didn't know anything about how they're gonna fold there?
No, so that's why I wouldn't have chose this dish, because like you weren't allowed to explain it as well. So it's like for anyone who's come to the restaurant, it's like it would have been enough. I could have made a tastier dish, like one bite. I could have made the components smaller. I could have done this, but honestly, I was happy with the dish actually. So
Cool.
I love that guy. He's so nice.
Even though you were right in front of judges, but you are not allowed to speak anything. Nothing
No,
at all.
and they switch you before you go in. So when you're going in, to make sure, because the kitchen, you have the huksuja or beksuja on the lines, and then the door's right behind. So you walk out. But then each team as well, they mix them up. So then even the judges can't know that this side is right and this one is less. They keep switching them up. So you're not allowed to speak at all. Yeah.
Nice.
No, it was really, really well done.
Wow, really well done.
I think that, this was in order. Yeah, it was mine first. So that's a tasty dish.
This chef from 흑수저, his mental is breaking down right in front of judges.
Yeah.
But like, it's good to see that you comfort him. So did you know him before even the show?
Yeah, so when I first came to Korea, I did a couple different pop-ups with some of my other friends who were also on the show, and we'd met before, but not like briefly, and that's why he chose me, because he was like, we'd either help me on the pop-up or he came and ate at the pop-up. I can't quite remember. It'd been so long, but yeah, he was there, and I think when we got to the thing, once you're in the judging room, it's kind of like, it doesn't really, like, it's obviously means quite a lot, but it's like, yeah, I wanted to make sure that he felt like it's, at the end of the day, you lose, you win. It's more like we tried our best, we did it all. And it was really cool to see him go through out of him, because if he was you can look at him. He's such a nice guy. He's really passionate. I was really if I was going to lose, I'm glad I lost to him. So.
Nice.
Oh, I did say it. They did put it in there. Sorry, I haven't watched it. So
This is the first time you watched it?
It's the first time watching it.
Wow. The experience that I got with my wife at your restaurant was
Yeah.
amazing that I didn't think about the Korean dishes or Korean ingredients in just a certain way that you guys put it in. This was such an amazing experience. But I think I'm 100% sure the judges also felt the same from your dishes because I did had an eel for my entire life, but I never seen anything like your dishes.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
I think, it's such a, even now with the restaurant, I get all the credit, but we had such an amazing team as well. So it's not just me who comes up with the dishes. We have a lot of people from around the world, but also a lot of great Korean chefs at our restaurant. So it's a really good team effort.
So that was your journey with 흑백요리사. So after this, so you are many chefs coming out from this show. They're posting a lot of photos. Finally, they're allowed to post any photos from the show, right?
Yeah.
Is there any a specific chef that you are hanging out the most often? Or?
Yeah, I mean, so the first day we get there, it's like a normal, you have like the studios at the back, you don't know what's going on, you're filming, but you're working with lots of owner chefs who, like, at the end, it'd be nice if, like, we want certain comfort. So the second day, because we have the 백수자 male and female rooms, and the guys in there, it's like the next first day no one's prepared, and then the next day we all have ramen set up, we always have a coffee machine ready to go, everyone's brought the snacks, it's like a proper setup. So it was really nice. And I think we've got like together we created a little group chat, so we'd hang out with most of them. Like, it was really cool. I think that was the thing that because when they filmed, I was like, you lose, you didn't get very as far as you would like, you can feel a bit disappointed, but I think the main thing I really liked was the people I met. That was so nice, that was so cool.
Awesome.
I think Cheon-sok and probably Yoon from Yoon Seoul is probably my people that I've hung out with the most, but also Fabry, because he's another foreigner in there as well. So yeah, all of them.
Nice. And then, is there any like a specific restaurant you can pick for from the show, owner chefs, 흑수저, 백수저?
They're all great, and I'm the worst person for going to other people's restaurants. Like, on my day off, like, I never go to enough people's restaurants. I always meet them at gatherings, and it's always like, oh, I've got to go to your restaurant, and they're the same. So, like, I used to always say Mosu was my favorite restaurant in Korea. I thought it was great. So but within the 백수저, I probably would say Yoon-seol, just because I love his noodles. I think it's great. It's also very close to me, so we always catch up for a drink and stuff. So Yoon-seol.
Lovely. Awesome. So yeah, now we are we would like to talk about yourself as a Joseph Lindawood.
Yes.
In general, and like, I want to know, like, how did you decide to become a chef? Like, we want to learn, because this show is watched by young entrepreneurs or wannabe entrepreneur in specific areas, and then so like I want to learn like how did you grew up to decide I want to be a chef?
Yeah. When I was young, I'd go to school, but I wasn't very good at school. I had too much energy. I wasn't very good at sitting down. You can see me now. I'm always swinging around. And in a school environment, that doesn't really work very well. Like, teachers don't like that. But in kitchens, like, being able to move, being able to work hard, being able to figure out problems in real time and solve them is what cooking is. Like, it's just lots of little steps that you have to think about and do. And I was very much geared towards that. So when I was starting to cook, I was like, oh, actually, no one's shouting at me anymore, because like I can actually do this job. Like, and it's like, oh, okay, maybe sitting down and doing a desk job is not for me. And I just started cooking. I liked it. I liked the fun of cooking, and it's like, to cook all day, it's tiring, but for me, it felt like a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. And then along the way, like, I wasn't 13, 14 and going, I'm going to own my restaurant. I enjoyed cooking. And then along the way, I had different mentors who were like, oh, you should try this. Or if you want to do this, you should go here. And now I'm here.
So like, even though you started as I wanna be a chef, but then you need to start your career at some point, right?
Yes.
So what was your first step as the professional career?
So I don't think you have it in Korea, but in Australia we have this apprenticeship. So we have this apprenticeship. So it's like this. You have 4 years of like training, but you're working and you go to school 1 day a week. So I was just working at a cafe, and it was like we'd sell chicken burgers and chips and Caesar salads and just tasty, delicious cafe food. But it's like I don't know, they use it here in America. We call it short order cooking, where it's just like it's not like the order comes in, you send it. Like it's just go, 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 and then it was really fun because you had 2 people in the kitchen. You drop the fish and chips. You've got to make the burgers. It's a really nice rush. So I enjoyed that, and that was my first place.
And then how did you, because I watched your other YouTube the clips, and I found out that you worked at the Michelin star restaurants in the States and the UK.
Yes.
How did you get in there? Did you apply for it?
So I was working in Australia, and then I slightly just kept I left the cafe, and then I went to a steakhouse. It was a slight improvement, I guess, in food quality. That was the first time. It was like, oh, we do starters, main, and dessert, not just one dish. It's 3 dishes, and I was like, that was nice. And then I went to a kind of a fine dining restaurant because the teacher at my school was very nice, but he's also like, you should try to do this. And then I was there, and then one of the chefs was like, oh, you should. At that time, Tasmania. Now it's really good, but 10, 15 years ago, there was not many good restaurants. So
Pennsylvania.
Tasmania. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Is in the US or
Australia? So
Australia.
The island at the bottom. Yeah, I'm from a big island called Tasmania. And then so I went to the UK, and they never tell you, but in Australia, they're like, oh, you have to get your cooking certificate. You need to get this. Then you can work anywhere. When you go abroad, no one cares about your qualifications. No one cares. Like you come in for a trial, they say, oh, maybe if you've worked somewhere good, you'll get a slight improvement, but no one cares about your cooking certificates or anything. It's literally, especially at kind of 2 or 3 Michelin, no one cares. Because it's just about how hard how can you work? I can see you're working well. So it was good. And so I started working in the UK. I worked there for 7 years. And then I also worked in the US. And I also did a pop-up restaurant group before I came here.
So when did you get into UK? May I ask you, how old were you at the time?
21, 22.
And then since you said the trials,
Yeah.
so before you actually got a job from the
Yeah.
restaurant, Michelin restaurant, how many trials do you usually do?
So I would pick a restaurant and then I would do a trial, but it'd just be 1 day. So
okay.
I didn't, when I first came over, one of the chefs from the UK had worked in my restaurant. So I went there to trial first. And then got a job and stayed there for 2 years. So I didn't do too many trials at the time. But normally for Michelin restaurant, you go in the morning, you work a full day, and at the end of the day, they say, yeah, you're hired, or they say, we'll call you, kind of thing. And normally if they say we'll call you, then they're not going to give you a call.
The image that I have in the UK Michelin restaurant is all conducted by Chef Gordon Ramsay, I guess.
Yeah.
So yelling and shouting within the kitchen. Was it like this or?
So I think sometimes it was worse.
Yeah?
Because I don't know how it is now. But in the UK Michelin restaurants, there's the working hours are really crazy for one. Like, I mean, the shouting's fine. That's fine. But so at one restaurant, we would start at 6:30 a.m. and we would finish at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. every day. Wow. And if you were working you do 5 days, 2 days off, right? But sometimes your 2 days are here and the other 2 days are here. And if you're working 10 days straight, say 100 hours a week, by the end of it, you're just so mentally exhausted. Like it doesn't like, you go to bed at 2, you get up, you're just dead. Like 1, 2, 3 days is fine. But if you're 9th day of just having 4 hours sleep, it's really exhausting.
Wow. So it's a probably many chefs are just dropping off from the journey.
So many. Like so many of my good friends would go there, and it's not like that they even drop out. It's not even they quit the restaurant. They quit cooking.
Yeah.
They just like, this sucks. I don't want to be a chef anymore. You're just like, yeah. And I think for the first, when I was there, I lost 11 kilos in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Just like, I went down, like, I'm not a big guy. I can't lose. I was skin and bones because you're just under so much stress. You don't eat. You just work.
Wow. So after 7 years in UK, and then how did you, so after UK, you went to the US?
Not even, so I was working in a restaurant, sick of it, didn't want to do it anymore. A couple of my friends, one other chef, his wife, and another chef, we started a restaurant group, and we traveled around the world doing pop-up restaurants, just to have fun, because we were working at these just insanely crazy restaurants, not very fun. And we would build a pop-up in each country for 1 month, sell the tickets, make money from the pop-up, and just have enough to get to the next country and do it all again. And we started off in New York. We drove to San Francisco, the long way around. We then went to Hong Kong. We went to Beijing. And then we went all the way through Thailand, Vietnam. And then we did the highest pop-up restaurant in the world in 2016 on Base Camp Everest. Wow. So in the Guinness Book of Records. And then to South Africa, or Oman, South Africa, and to London.
Wow.
So it was this crazy experience. But I think after that, I finished there, and it was really great experience, but it was hard. It was very difficult, very difficult. And so I wanted to, at that stage, I'd only worked at 2 Michelin, and I wanted to work at 3 Michelin. And I wanted to get my CV ready for getting investment and everything. So French Laundry is always a good way to do that. So I applied and got a job at the French Laundry through my contacts in the UK. So one of the chefs I worked with, he got me the job in the US, and then I worked in the US for 1 year.
So what is a French Laundry?
The French Laundry is, I don't know, sorry for people who aren't in cooking. It's a restaurant in Napa Valley, 3 Michelin stars. It's been 3 Michelin for 25 years. It's owned by Thomas Keller, the most respected US chef. And yeah, it's just one of those iconic restaurants around the world that people, like, it's on everyone's kind of bucket list of places you need to eat at and dine. So, and it's been that way for a long time.
So you were working there?
Yes.
Awesome. For how long? I
was 1 year visa. So before I was going to the US, I had to prepare my visa. So I had a bit of time in Korea because my girlfriend at the time was living here. Now my wife. And I was doing some pop-up restaurants. And then I went to the US and I was working for 1 year, and then they offered me sous chef at the French Laundry and a visa to stay because I was only on a 1 year visa. And the same week I had an offer to open a restaurant in Korea. And at that time I was just sick of just opening tins of caviar and truffles, and I didn't feel like that was what cooking was about. And I really enjoyed the time I had with the pop-ups in Korea. So yeah, I decided to open my restaurant here.
I see. So can you help me walk through, like, when you decided to, okay, I'll come to Korea and then start a restaurant? And then how does it work? Like from foreigner chef, then from day one to let's do it, then what's going to happen?
I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do it without my wife, to be honest. Like, there's a reason why there's not a whole lot of foreigners with, unless they're at hotels, because you need someone to organize a lot of that stuff, especially if you don't speak Korean at the start. So I decided, so when they contacted me, said, we'd like you to do a restaurant here. I said, cool, but I've got no money. I'm a CDP working at a very hard restaurant. I've got nothing saved. I'm not going to be able to open a fine dining restaurant. But the company that had the building, they were very supportive and they helped fit out the restaurant and everything. And then my wife made the rest happen with all the contracts and everything like that. So, and then from there, it was just, we had an opening date and we bought tables, we bought chairs, we found chefs, and we picked a menu. And people think like that the menu is like the hardest bit. That's the funnest bit for us. Like that's the bit that we actually like to do, is like we actually like to build menus and cook. But with opening a restaurant, it's like 90% is not cooking.
Yes, exactly. So when did you open restaurant? So the first one, and then first restaurant was a Restaurang에서, right?
Yes.
So when did you open it?
We did soft opening December 6, 2018 on a Thursday.
And then
that was a terrible service. I remember it was horrible, horrible service. And then we only opened on the weekends through December, all the way up into Sonal. And then after Sonal, 2019, we opened. Fully opened to like February 2019.
2019. So even though you started like a fine dining restaurant in Korea, it's going to be really hard for you to just what dishes you want to provide.
Yeah.
Want to know like how did you
do that?
Find the direction? Yeah.
I think it was based a lot on my time traveling in the pop-ups.
Yeah.
Because when you're working in Nepal or you're working in Oman or here, it just makes so much more sense to cook with the ingredients around you. So the restaurant has always been, what's the best ingredients in Korea that we can use? Let's not fly stuff in from France or here. Let's use the best local ingredients we can, and then let's just cook with that. And that was what shaped our menu. So when we first opened, it was a 10-course menu. So we'd start with a couple snacks and move through. And then kind of as the restaurants evolve, sometimes, I mean, during COVID, we did sometimes it was like 20 course menu.
Wow.
Because we had all this time we had no guests because no one was eating out. So we wanted every guest who came to just show them everything and keep our chefs busy and keep us learning and everything. So it's changed a lot, but now our formula is 14 courses, and we have, in those positions, we have a story we're trying to tell.
Makes sense. So as an owner chef, you need to find someone who's going to work with you.
Yes.
Like from the providing service staff to the chef.
Yes.
How did you find from A to Z?
I think I was lucky that I did some pop-ups before. That helped because we had opening up. We had enough. There was a lot of people applying, which has been good. And I think it helped that a lot of people also, I think, a lot of Korean chefs who want to leave to work abroad, they saw that, I could go to Evid, I can learn more of a international kitchen style, and then learn a bit more English, and then use that as a platform. So we were very blessed that we had a lot of people applying. So just through Instagram to start, to be honest.
And you was quite surprised that like all the chefs providing all the services out there, and then they're fully fluent in English and everything. Yeah. So you're quite surprised to see them. And also one of the signature dish was the ant.
Oh, the ant. Yes.
And we thought about trying it, but we will try next time.
You try next time? You missed out.
Totally missed out. But then that's the one thing that I found out about the Restaurang에서, people are just talking about the ant quite often.
Yeah.
So like, but then there's definitely a reason behind you choose to do that. Yeah.
Well, I think as we did it because there's a restaurant that I staged at in Copenhagen called Noma, a very popular restaurant. They did ants, and I like the flavor. And we did it. We were just going to run it for a small season. But then we took it off for a bit, and everyone was like, "Where's the ants?" And they would complain because there was no ants on the menu. So we keep it on there. But for me, it's nice. It's a nice way to show something, and also just to have a bit more of a story. Because like I think sometimes you come in, you can be kind of on your phone, or you can be not really engaged. But when there's an ants on the table, you're not just looking away. You're definitely trying it, and it starts a story at the table, I think, about what we can eat and have you ever tried it, and it brings a little bit more of a different mood.
And also, it was quite surprised that you guys providing the Korean liquor pairing courses.
Yes.
So, and then also some of the liquors are the collaborative work.
Yeah.
And then how did you decide to go that way? And then how was your working experience with the liquor friends?
So I really wanted to do a Korean alcohol pairing because I think other countries, like sake pairings are very popular. And when I came to Korea first in 2015-16, it was nothing. Like even in fine dining, there'd just be one bottle, wine pairing. And I thought that was such a shame because it's such a wide range of Korean alcohols. So it's very easy to curate a list of you can start off soft and then move through. And so we always wanted to show that. And we had a really good Korean alcohol sommelier when we first opened, who really started that and led the way. So. Nice. And along the way, one of the things that I found difficult and why I wanted to kind of start my collaboration with the Samyang-jun was that sometimes the bottle, some of the nicest alcohols are just because it's like a Iyangju or something like that, you can't put it in glass. So you have this really amazing alcohol, but the package, it's in plastic. It's hard to use at fine dining. So we wanted to make something nice, but that could be used in fine dining. So even the first one, the Oh My God sparkling, I wanted it to be like a champagne where it's light at the start. It has a bit of bubbles. It's a nice refreshing first drink to ease you in. And just I wanted to add something more to the Korean alcohol selection that was there.
I see. What was your if you can pick any a Korean liquor brand as a personal favorite?
Yes.
Can you pick one, two?
Apart from mine, of course. The Haechang makgeolli is still my favorite makgeolli. In regards to Boksundoga as well, their sparkling champagne makgeolli is really great. Ireom Pyeonju is probably the nicest.
Yes.
For that style, I would say, especially the larger bottles. And when they do a seasonal release with the Kukwa, then the big 500, that's amazing. Hard to get though. And then for harder ones, like a harder alcohol, maybe Guandal is probably the nicest soju. I don't know if you've seen that one. It's an omija soju, but it's in it's been aged in oak.
Oh.
I think it's really expensive. It's 300 a bottle, 300. But super delicious, super delicious. So.
The Kukwa that you talk about was a huge bottle, right?
Yeah, I think it might be. Yeah, it might be. I don't know if it's even like a 750 or something like that.
They only produce a seasonal.
Yes,
right.
Yes, and they even hand print the labels as well.
Yeah, I think I know the founder.
Yeah,
the female founder, right?
Yes.
I know her. I know her. Yeah.
That's great. That's a really, really nice one. But even the smaller one in the black bottle with the white label, that's delicious. So,
oh, nice. So even though you said you started this fine dining restaurant, but no one is gonna guarantee you're gonna get a star.
Yes.
But as a normal just person, just don't know how you guys gonna receive star.
Yeah.
Do you know what are the steps? And then you definitely aiming after it. That's why you are able to get one.
Yeah, I think. The main kind of plan with the restaurant was to be busy, and I think getting a star helps that for sure, but it was never what we need to get a star. It was never really the plan, but I think if you're trying to get a star, I think CV helps a lot. So if you see, because first of all, they have to come to your restaurant. There's so many thousands of restaurants, so I think any chefs coming back with really good CVs who are opening their restaurants, most they find them. There's a really good Bennu chef came back recently, opened restaurant Sun. I'm sure they're going to be on the list as well because if you come with a really good CV, then you're definitely going to have Michelin inspectors coming in from that. And then normally they'll come in, do a couple different visits to make sure what it is, and then they'll sit down with you and ask for all your details, and then you see if you make it on the list or not.
So you kind of already knew that Michelin star, the judge already visited your restaurant before.
I didn't know the lady, the person who visited, but then when they came next week, and I was like, oh, there's that person from last week. And then they sat down with me, and then she gave me the card, and it just had Michelin, no phone number, nothing on it, just that. And then we sat down and we talked about the restaurant for a couple of hours, and it was very nice. And then, because we'd only been open 4 or 5 months, so we were not expecting to get it in the first.
Wow.
Normally it takes a little bit of time to settle in. And then, we got a phone call that we're having an event, we would like you to come. And then, we'll start.
Wow. So after you receive a star, then how much is it hard to maintain that star and then aiming after the 2-star, 3-star?
Yeah, I think it's consistency overall. I think it's consistency, and even just in building a restaurant overall, you have to treat every day, like all the guests that come in, especially at fine dining, they're only really going to come to your restaurant once a year max, unless you have money to burn, then it's really hard for people. So people put a lot of effort into it. They come in, they're normally celebrating birthdays or anniversaries. It's a lot of effort for them. So if you're only worried about the one Michelin inspector who comes in once a year, then you won't have a very good restaurant. So every day we put a lot of effort into every single guest that comes in, and then one of those people is going to be an inspector. But we try not to think about just the one person, but everyone on that one.
Wow. From your chef's perspective,
Yes.
The 1-star chef, 2-star chef, 3-star chef, how much are there a huge gap in between tiers? Because from my point of view, I have no idea.
So I think the way that Michelin is a old guidebook that was given into cars to make people drive more, to use tires. That's essentially what it was created for. 1-star means worth a stop. So you're driving, it's worth a stop. 2-star means worth a detour, and 3-star means worth a special journey. And I think it still holds true. I think sometimes like 1 and 2, it can feel hard to see the difference because there's some that are in between on that gap, and I think there is definitely gaps in between, and definitely a lot of the time it's price as well. Like if you go to 3-star, it's not going to be the same as the price of a 1-star. So.
I see. Interesting. So as a chef, do you have any next career point that you want to achieve?
I think for the team, we've very recently moved spaces, so it would be nice to see if we can push for 2 stars. I think the team is there on that one. We're always doing stuff. I think we're always the team, whether it's new menu, whether it's better guest experience, whether it's all that, we're just kind of all in on this project that is Evet, and seeing how far that goes. I think it's still like we opened not knowing really what the road ahead. We had COVID for a couple of years. Now we finally moved the restaurant last year. So it's just a nice period of just kind of working hard and seeing what opportunities open up as well.
So as a owner chef and then running a restaurant Evet, is there any, can you think of like a rock bottom moment from the operating restaurant?
Yeah, I think it would have to be probably during COVID, I think. Because so we opened the restaurant with our own money. The first 6 months, like we're in Yeoksamdong. We're actually just around here, right? The first restaurant was here.
Oh, yeah, right,
it's
right,
just
right.
just over that road there. So it's not fine dining in this area. There's no one. So it's very hard. And it was like, okay, we're probably going to be, unless things change, we've probably only got 1 or 2 more months and we're going to have to close. And then you get the Michelin star, you're fully booked for 3-4 months. It's fine, amazing. Like the restaurant's this empty restaurant that you thought, oh, is it good? Are we finally able to like have the guests in? They like the food. And then that was in November. And then in February, COVID. And then empty restaurant again. And having like not being able to like, just having that moment of waking up. It's like, oh, we're fully booked this month. And now you're having 0 guests for the month is just, especially at that first couple of months, that was difficult, very difficult. So that was probably the rock bottom for the restaurant.
And then what was on the other parts, like what was the happiest moment?
Happiest moment?
Yeah.
I think 2. One was obviously getting the Michelin star because it just mean that a lot of people came to the restaurant. And it was really nice for the team as well because you work very hard. And the chefs put in so much work, front of house, back of house, everyone puts in so much work. And then to get something to be like, yes, like you've worked very hard, I think is very important for the team. And then also moving the last year, like we used to be 8 people. We're a very small restaurant. Now we're 22.
Wow.
So having that, and then like just even recently we have our summer party. We go down to Kapyeong and we rent out a place and we have like barbecue and pool party. And it used to just be 4 or 5 of us. And now there's 20 people. And it's just like, it feels like we've really made a family here. So that was very special as well.
And as a foreign chef, actually leading this Korean dining scene, like what was the impression as a foreign chef when you look at the Korean dining chef before opening the restaurant Evid and then now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's grown so much. So when I first came, there was only like a handful of restaurants, and now it feels like Korea's, especially Seoul's dining scene is just growing and growing and growing. And what I really like about the TV show, this one here, is that July and August this year, a lot of my friends, even us as well, no one's busy. We have these really good restaurants, but like at the moment the economy is down. It's hard for everyone. And all these restaurants opening, it kind of feels like it's very slow. I speak to all my friends and now it's like everyone's interested in restaurants, going out and supporting it. And it's really cool to see all these amazing restaurants just be flooded back in, because I think that's the only way that you can have such unique dining experiences is if people go out and eat at these places and do that. So I think it's been really cool to see that journey in Seoul.
And I remember back then we didn't even have a Michelin for
2015 I think.
Yeah. So very recent that we started have a Michelin star. And then I don't know, like since you worked in many Michelin restaurant in the UK and the US and in Korea, can you like distinguish between each country fine dining scene? Because we don't have that much of the history out of it.
Yeah. Well, I think London, for me, has such a long history. It was the second place after France. It was the first country after France to get the Michelin. So they have a very long history of Michelin star restaurants. And I think what Michelin gives you in those countries that you hopefully will see is you have these long histories of restaurants, like of these 20, 30-year-old restaurants that have been working and been able to do that. Because Michelin sometimes, it gives you a lot of diversity, because sometimes the local population alone can't sustain one restaurant. Sometimes if you have this crazy concept restaurant, maybe the people in that country aren't going to be able to visit there every week. The price point's too high, or it's a once in a thing. But Michelin gives you a lot of international guests that comes through. And it means that if you are living in a city with Michelin for a long time, you're going to have an amazing dining scene where you have, like in London now, they have North African Michelin star restaurant, which is like pretty unique. Like all these different flavors that are supported, because if you didn't have the Michelin guide, it'd be very hard to open that restaurant in there. So I think hopefully, what has it been? 9-10 years now, Michelin. In 10 more years, you'll see that hopefully it supports like a wide range of different restaurants.
When in 10 years, when we have a wide range of different restaurants, then what kind of role do you want to take within this scene?
I like the path we're on at the moment. I think the goal has always been to showcase Korean ingredients. I think we're just going to keep going on that, and hopefully people look at it as a restaurant that showcases Korean ingredients really well from kind of a foreign perspective. So,
and then for this 흑백요리사 from the Netflix show is going to bring a lot of attention from the young generation.
Yes,
I want to be a chef like this.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to share so that they they just need the guidance to start with, and then just go path after you, follow you? What kind of the first step they can take?
I think you have to be certain that you want to do this. Like, especially like if you want to do this because you want to be on TV, then don't do this. Like, why? Because even when you're doing the TV, it's not always super fun. So if you see that and you're inspired to be on TV, then don't be a chef. If you see that and you're inspired to cook, then follow that. But I think if you start with strong intention, then you can find a way. But I think you have to be, a lot of the times now I see, this is gondema, this is just like the old man speak. But a lot of people change direction because they're not 100%. It's like, oh, I want to do this. And then maybe a year later, I'm going to go back and I'm going to study and do this and do that. And you lose so much time. If you're in 20s in Korea, you have to go to the army as well. If you're a guy, you're finishing, you don't have that much time to swap. So just take a time, pick something you really like. And sometimes along the way, like even when I was in London working, so many days I hated it. Like go home crying, like did not want to be there. But if you have a strong intention at the start, you can get through that. But if you don't, then it will break you. That.
Wow. And then if your child want to be a chef, what would you say to them?
I mean, it's a good profession. I think now it's good. I think now, even in the last 10, 20 years, the working conditions are a lot better. And hopefully we can get to a stage where kitchens are not the Wild West. They're still like professional, working hard. People are treated nicely. People are paid well. People have nice working hours. That's not normally the case. Kitchens are always like underpaid, high working hours, everything like that. So I think if my child was to say, be a chef, then I would be supportive of that.
Lovely. Yeah, so we are almost done.
Yes.
I think the people will be applying for Restorangevi to work. Do you think, is there any like a top 3 things that you want to appeal to the future potential the chef?
People applying at the restaurant, Evid.
Yeah.
Well, now we're super busy, so we're actually definitely hiring. I mean, come in, I think with these trials and these things, you only have one day. So bring your best self that day. You only have a couple of hours at the restaurant to really showcase who you are, how you can work, and everything like that. So I think most of the thing we look for in the restaurant is not skill. The first thing we look for is attitude. So if you are a good person, you work hard, you're polite, and you're nice, that's what we always look for.
And then they can apply for how? Like
they can
DM you?
Careers at restaurantevet.com.
Okay.
Yes.
Through the website.
Through the website. Don't DM me, please.
Okay. Yeah, people probably want to know, like, since you talk about the insane working hours in the UK.
Yes.
But What is your like a normal day in Korea? Like a work day, off day?
Yeah.
What time you get up? When you go to bed?
So we have two teams at the restaurant. So we have a morning team and an evening team. So the morning teams are at 6:30 a.m. And they finish around 5. And the PM is around 3 and they finish around 10. So I want to be there for both them. So in the morning, try and get up about 7:30, 8 a.m. and get to the restaurant by 10. So I can see how the morning mise en place is going, how that's all going. Meetings, dish development, projects. We're doing a lot of different projects at the restaurant. How can we, whether we're making plates, whether we're making new makgeolli, whether we're doing new dishes, we're always doing something. And in the morning, the AM team is in the back. So the service kitchen is free. So we use that as a test kitchen. So we'll normally be in there. And then service starts, and then I'm there till 10. So normally 10 till 10, 5 days a week. Sunday's my day with my wife, and Monday is a day to myself. That's how I do it. I know if I can work pretty hard as long as I get that one day to myself, where I can do that, where I'm either running or foraging or something where I can just turn off my phone.
Nice, nice. Alrighty, I think we can wrap it up.
Perfect. Thank
Also
you.
awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.